Good morning, everybody. Are you having a good conference? Good. So over the last 12 months or so at CMA, we've been looking to build a stronger partnership with Acts 435, recognising that it's such a great tool for us. I was talking to Dave, the pastor here, yesterday, and he said that for their social action projects here at Barnabas, it was the missing link. That was the word he used. And I think for many of you, as we just go through this, you might think, oh, maybe this is the missing link in the work that we're doing. So let me tell you a story. I had a client came in 3 weeks ago. We'll call him Alan. And Alan served in the forces for 15 years, and he came home about 4 years ago, to care for his parents who were elderly and dying. They both passed away at the beginning of this year, and he was left with their property, which was social housing, tenancy. They would have been the first ones 43 years ago to move into the street with the new social housing properties that had been built. And he was trying to keep the property. He was doing delivery driving, and the problem was that he couldn't get a different job because his driving licence needed updating, and he couldn't afford the £14 that it cost to update his driving licence. But worse, he had been advised by another organisation, rightly, to do a debt relief order, and they were about to do it. And he came to me because he'd been told that we could fund the debt relief order fee. I was like, my personal policy is you need to be my client if we're going to do that. So anyway, he came to see me. Turned out he was doing this delivery driving, being completely ripped off by this takeaway. What they were recording he was being paid wasn't. And he was paying for car insurance every day to be able to work. Can you imagine how much that costs? So you're being ripped off. You're not getting your universal credit properly because what universal credit think you're being paid is not what you're being paid. And you're paying for car insurance every day. But there was no way of getting £150 to pay the first car insurance payment so that he could just go on and do it normally. I couldn't do a DRO. It would have been completely irresponsible at that point to do it because he would have been back in debt the next week and we'd been back in the cycle. So what did I do? Acts 435, I put in a request for £150 for the insurance and £14, I think it was 170 altogether, for the updated driving licence application. The money came through last week, and he's been able to get the insurance, so he's now paying a normal person's, like £50 a month insurance, which means his budget is now workable, which means I can do the DRO, and I actually put that on Acts as well, just to see if I got it, and that came through yesterday. Thursday it was. With all the best debt advice in the world, we could not have got him a debt solution without having that insurance in place. And without Acts 435, there were forces charities and they were helping him with other stuff. But without Acts 435, I couldn't have done that, which would have meant my debt advice was a bit kind of, I just couldn't do anything. So it was an amazing tool to see that happen. I'd love to tell you how Acts 435 works, but there's a video that does it a lot better and a lot quicker than my waffle. So we're just going to watch a 2-minute animation just from Acts that tell us how it works.
Acts 435 is based on a book in the Bible called Acts chapter 4 verse 35, which says that money was distributed to anyone as he had need. This shows how the members of the early church were caring for those in their community that were in need by sharing their resources. Acts 435 seeks to live this out in our communities today by connecting those who want to help with those in need using the internet. Churches and local charities play a key part in connecting donors with people in their community who are struggling financially and in desperate need of something practical that will ease their suffering or provide an important hand up in their lives. People have been helped with white goods, clothing, house deposits, emergency transport needs, and much more. So how does it work? A person in need meets with the church or charity advocate, a volunteer chosen by the leadership. The person in need can be known to the church already through its activities, referred by a supporting organisation, or be approached directly. The advocate verifies the need and then posts the request onto the website through a simple control panel from their PC, tablet or smartphone. Donors give online to meet the requests that appeal to them. Every penny of their donation goes to the person in need, and over 95% of applications are met in full. Once the request has been met, the funds are transferred to the church or charity bank account, and then the advocate contacts the applicant to give them the item that is so desperately needed. Sounds simple? It is, and fast too. Requests are often met in less than 2 weeks. Donors are directly connected with those in need, whilst protecting their anonymity and applicant confidentiality. Advocates are able to give direct feedback to the donors who gave to their particular request through the control panel. Interested? It's free to get involved, technically simple with only 1 hour's training and ongoing support after training, and the help provided is a great mission opportunity for the church or charity to serve people in need. A small gift can make a big difference.
That said it a lot quicker, a lot simpler than I could have done. I'm going to ask Amanda. I've seen you, Amanda. There you are. We know Amanda from Mad Mac in Melton as an amazing debt advisor, but she's also one of the advocates, a long-standing advocate, that she thought it had been about 4 years she'd been an advocate, and she said the other day she found out it had been 8 years. So she's been doing it a long time. Her centre used it a lot, and she's just going to tell us a story and why she used it. So.
Yeah, it's very exciting to be able to just share how we've used Acts 435. So as Claire said, we've run our centre, Melton District Money Advice Centre, for 8 years and actually partnered with Acts 435 for 8 years as well. And the very first CMA centre I came to, it was just me with an idea how to do a debt centre. And I came and somebody prayed for me and they saw a picture of darkness with one candle of light shining, which was me. And they felt that God was going to bring other lights around me that help us shine brighter together. So Acts 435 was one of the first people that I partnered with to shine brighter with my clients. And we've heard the saying, the straw that breaks the camel's back. And it's often the very small thing that makes someone say, do you know what, I can't do this anymore. So as an example, we had a client who, single parent, works really hard, has an evil ex, car broke down, trouble at work, evil ex causing trouble, car breaks down, and then the washing machine. So the washing machine, final straw that broke the camel's back. She said, I can't do this anymore. So we were like, okay, you put your money to getting the car to be mended. We'll get all the creditors to wait for their money, give you a month's break, and we'll get the money for the washing machine by using Acts 435. I spoke to somebody yesterday who said that they've got a client who all the spiral of debt all started by needing a washing machine. So it's that small item that spiraled out of control and now has led them to thousands of pounds worth of debt. So, and people are so astounded at the kindness of strangers. Somebody they don't know, will never know who it is, but somebody across the nation has said, I'll give you £200 for a washing machine. So it really, really speaks to people. And you also get to say a thank you, so the client can say what is meant for them in their life. We get to put it on the website, and then the person that's donated the money gets to see the difference they've made, which encourages them to donate again. It's an absolute win-win. So I like to think of Acts 435 as the straw that does not break the camel's back. So small amount, large difference. A 17-year-old girl we're working with at the moment, they've put her in social housing. Somebody had helped her go on universal credit. She doesn't have email, she doesn't have a phone, doesn't know what a national insurance number is, but no one had bothered to do the housing element part of it. So she was up for eviction, no one's paying the rent. So we've come along, and we're trying to get her a bank account, so we paid for the birth certificate, tried to get the bank account. But what she needs is a mobile phone. £100, you get a brand new mobile phone. Vodafone give you free SIMs to put in the mobile phone. She can have access to her journal. We can apply for housing element. You ring Universal Credit, and she doesn't know a national insurance number, so we can't just go on the phone to get the housing element. So we've started this huge complicated process. She has so many things going on. But to be able to use Acts 435 and get £100 for a mobile phone has absolutely changed her life. Again, evil ex. She can call the police now she's got a phone if he comes round. Absolute win-win. And my final story is a lady that we're working with at the moment. And I've been in debt advice for over 8 years. I've dealt with thousands of clients. And this lady's just tugged at my heartstrings because she's somebody that you never thought would get into debt. But as we heard with the lady that spoke earlier, everything's gone wrong for this client, and she finds herself in a terrible, terrible, complicated situation. She lives in a lovely village. If you knew the village where she lives, you'd think, oh, she's obviously got lots of money, but she hasn't got a penny. So very sadly, she's got breast cancer, she's lost her hair. She's sitting in front of me, very complicated. Again, an evil ex. Not every one of our clients has an evil ex. It's not a criteria to work with us, but these stories all have them. So she has a house, lovely house in a lovely village, but it's dilapidated, it's full of mould, it's damp, all needs rewiring. She doesn't have a fridge. She has nowhere she can put a medication that she should be putting in a fridge, let alone a food. She has no working cooker. She fails to get benefits in many areas because she also has a house that she rents out that's jointly owned with Evil X, and she can't sell it, but it actually costs her money. She doesn't make anything from it. Council tax support, oh no, you can't have that, you have an asset. Macmillan, oh, we'll apply for a fridge. Oh no, sorry, you can't do that, you've got an asset. So everywhere she'd been, everyone had said, we can't help, we can't help, we can't help. So I was able to say, well, we can help. I can see that you have no money, you have no food. I'll go straight to the food bank, I'll get you some food, and one of our volunteers will deliver it. One of our other volunteers said, I've actually got a spare fridge freezer in my garage, so we'll deliver that. He says it'll be a blessing for me to get rid of it. So the only thing I had to use for Acts 435 in the end was to get a cooker. And she was so blown over with, again, the kindness of strangers. She'd been by herself, struggling with all of this mess, very poorly, having radio and chemo. And I've produced in sorts of 48 hours, food, a fridge, a cooker. And when I took the food round, I thought, I've got to acknowledge God here, because God is just, with all these lights shining, well, that's us and the volunteers and everyone that's helping, and Acts 435, I've got to acknowledge God. So in the card, I just wrote to the client's name, and then I just put Psalm 23. That's all I'm going to put. And next time I saw her, she said, who wrote that card? I said, I did. She said, right, here's a bunch of flowers. And I'm like, inside, I'm thinking, you don't have £6 to waste on flowers. So that really touched me. And she was like, you've no idea what this has meant to me. She said, I lost my faith years ago. And she said, you guys coming in and the kindness of strangers, I cannot believe. And she said, and I just feel like a light's come on in my house for the first time in years. And it's because of all these small things that are actually huge to her, and the difference it's making in her life. And she said, I actually feel God saying, hello, I'm still here. And it's just awesome to work with Acts 435. You're just going to be blessed. You're going to be able to give that little extra thing, that small thing that makes a huge difference. The phones, the cookers, the carpets, the insolvency fees, things that are radically changing people's lives and will be the straw that does not make the camel's back but keeps people going in their lives.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much, Amanda. Those are amazing stories, aren't they? For me, from where I'm standing, it's a no-brainer. I know when you look at something and it says it's simple, we make it simple, there's not much admin, you go, I'm a debt advisor. They told me it might be simple. I mean, we don't anymore, but back in the day, and now look what it is. But it's not like that. Honestly and truly is so simple. The only skill you need is to be able to write concisely, because you've only got 500 characters to write your story. That's the only time-consuming thing. It's honestly kept as simple as possible. It's free to become an advocate. It's essentially free money for your clients. But the other side of it, we've got the advocates, we've got the giving, putting the requests up. What's the other side of it? The people that give. And that's the bit we need to do as well. So as becoming advocates, yes, we can find the people in need. We also need to build up that donor base, of course. I've put on about 2,000 maybe, 2,000 requests so since I've been an advocate in the last sort of 11 years, and every one of them has been met. So it is almost guaranteed, but we've got to build up that donor base. If you don't feel that being an advocate or having an advocate in your centre is something that you can do at this time, you can give. The great thing about this is you can give £5 or you can give £100, but you can give £5 to a specific need, and you know that money is going to it. Just for information, the way the staff team get paid is through the gift aid. It's the gift aid funds all of the core costs for the charity. So every single penny that you give will go to meet that need for that person. So put your hand up if you're already an advocate. Well, we've got loads of you. So these are people to talk to about it. Over there on the stand, over lunch, we're going to have Andy and Lynn, who are part of Barnabas here. Andrew from Noah's Ark in Halifax is loitering back there. He was on the stand at break time, and he might be loitering. He is a genius at getting DRO fees from Acts 435. If you want some tips on how to write those requests, they do a lot of that over there. So come and ask us some questions. I'll be around, but Andy and Lynn will be your fount of all knowledge for everything Acts 435 at lunchtime.